Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Kenny Fan 701 back again for another streaming, and boy, oh boy, has this day been a wild one. And I say it's been a wild one because of three things. Number one, we Brits have been hit by one of the most powerful storms we've ever hit us in the UK, and it's caused us some collateral damage, but thankfully no fatalities. But it absolutely have just been a wild day today. One of the most powerful storms to hit the UK since 1990, and tonight could be the worst part of it if it passes through. So keep safe for anybody else there. Try your best to not get blown away or get caught in the open wind crossfiring. But it's definitely, oh boy, it's definitely wild out there tonight. But not only that, but there were two things that happened concurrently which I thought would happen, and that was the Stories of Sodor. Now, I gotta tell you guys, I predicted and had a good guess that Peter was going to come back to Sodor after serving 15 years in Railgate, and lo and behold, it all came together, and I knew Victor would bring him back, and I was just so happy to hear that he did, and I saw it, and the reaction was just incredible. Because to be very, very, very honest, all of us, and I do mean all of us, have missed Peter. And just to see him come back, it was just like welcoming an old friend home. And at the end, he's quickly resettled back into Sodor as if he never left. And to be very honest, it was a good decision for Victor to bring him back in. And well, he's still got the numbers, 15 written on his tender. And I thought, because now they're in the 60s, I thought that Peter would actually get his British Railway numbering on him, as we can tell. And who knows? Maybe he will become a British Railway locomotive to go with the times. It depends really on what Victor's going to do to him now. But what's also good is that the fact is that, this was the last big hurrah for season 4. It seems like it is. And honestly, I can't wait to see what Victor's going to do in the future, if he ever plans to do a season 5. But, honestly, the man has just gone through so much in his creativity. I think he deserves a good rest and take his time with the next series, where we progress from the rest of the 1960s of Sodor into the 1970s. And I think, to be quite honest, that should be what he should do. And I'm saying that as a fan of his. And that's what I would do if I was in his position. But to be honest, having Peter back was just fantastic. And seeing Brian come back, despite that was a bit of a holy scary moment where we had some case of amnesia or whatever it was. But yeah, that was kind of scary. I'll admit to that. But it was so well played out. And to be all honest, as we know, when Peter came back, not everyone was happy to see him back, but at the same time, we saw Gordon and Peter have therapy with Mickey, and it worked, and everything made sense in the end. And it's good to see that those two have slowly reformed their friendship. And to be quite honest, I felt that those two were good together back before the whole war started. And we'll just see where it goes from there. Now, I know you guys are thinking, what's the other thing? Well, let's just say I want to share some great excitement. I think the icon that you can see gives you a little hint. And hi guys, nice to see you all.
Hello, lads.
Hey there, Jelly.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Hello.
I can see you had a shock reaction, Slim Killer. You were like, "Holy shit, what's going on?"
Like I said in the private chat, I haven't seen it yet, but I will after the stream.
I'm not going to tell you how it went down, but you've got to see it for yourself to believe. The expressions that the engine showed was the exact same thing I think all of us in the fandom were expecting.
I think season 5 should explain more on the Ghost Train episode.
Oh, good lord!
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
There's probably the mini series will do that.
Yeah, the Halloween specials,
Okay,
you know.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Yep, the new SCP stories.
For a minute, I actually thought that Brian died.
I thought that too. I thought he was.
I'm still convinced he did die, and it was an SCP thing.
I thought. Yeah, I'm not sure what. Oh, is that supposed to be SAP? Whatever it means is supposed to be called some case of amnesia or something.
Secure, protect, contain. Or
Oh,
secure,
never heard of it
contain,
before.
protect.
Who knows?
Basically, a secret organization, anything that's strange, breaks, out of the ordinary. Say,
Oh, I have a feeling that would be in either season 5 or 6.
yeah. Well, there's a mini series happening for those who saw after the end credits.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, like the Lucky
But out of
Lamb
all the
is an
engines I
SCP.
expected to return, the last one I expected was Peter.
Yeah. And one of the things that the SCP Foundation does is when they're covering something up, they give people amnestics.
At least we know.
Yeah.
Like I said, at least it was good to see a former old last member of the WNS come back, and of course, again, just having Peter back was just like a thrilling good thing. It was just we asked for it, we wanted it, and Victor Tansit being the way that he is, he gave us what we wanted. But just how he pulled it all off was beyond what I thought was going to be. You know, and he said there was, from what Terrence said, he said there were 4 of them guys coming up. Like you said, Peter and WNS was Brian was there, but I wonder who the other 2 would have been. That's the thing I'm not
They
sure.
showed us at the end credits.
Oh, at the ending credits, I didn't see that when I was watching that.
That might be a spoiler for me since I haven't seen it yet. So
I don't recall seeing it. I didn't see that. It was that quick. I didn't see who might have been. But like
It's
I
not
said,
really a big spoiler.
oh,
Yeah, they're working on the Little Western. It's not hard to figure out which 2 other Western characters have appeared in the show.
they should
well,
also work. They should also work on Percy's Promise.
Yeah.
I think Percy's Promise was done a bit earlier. The one where he got caught in that flood where Diesel refused to rescue him.
Okay.
I think that was a reference. I mean, we saw Thomas fall down the mine, which was a reference, except some idiot moved the danger sign and he fell into the mine shaft.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we still haven't seen the 2 get back together, and I'm not sure if we will.
Well, I have a strange way of seeing what people will say when the rest of the engines. Again, this was a really good send up for season 4. Oh, please stop that! Yeah, I know. Every time he does that, I'm pretty sure he's holding his microphone. Listen, James 55. Listen, don't be like that, please. Listen, James 55. Don't be demanding and don't be that way, please, man. Honestly, let's not go there. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back with you. Just gotta make sure.
Okay.
But like I said, I mean, I know you haven't seen. I know Mike hasn't seen it, but again, Slim Killer, what were your? While I just go for a minute, what were your personal thoughts when you finally got to see the episode? Like anything that you kind of expected lived up to your expectation, or was it better than you anticipated?
Well, there were some parts, I was upset they didn't go into further detail about. But really wish they would have done a little more with Terrence's network of gossip. I really would have liked to have met a couple of the members. I really did like that big twist at the end with Old Bailey.
Okay, I'm back there for a second.
Yeah.
Slim Killer, just take a bite of my friends.
That was not what I was expecting at all.
Hmm.
I usually don't get caught off guard, but that just completely caught me off guard.
Oh, and
Hey,
lo and
Kane.
behold,
Hello.
hello. And speaking of which, we have somebody else who had a fantastic time with me in the last stream. Who was fantastic. It's Thomas Tank. Welcome back, mate.
It's good to be back again, Kane. Though,
Hello.
so just a heads up, where I'm at right now, it's a little bit strong windy, and my lights were kind of flickering. So if I do disconnect, then the power has kind of died out for a bit. So just a heads up, I
Well,
might disconnect very often.
Okay.
Well, from this storm thing that we've had right now, it's been giving us an absolute brutal beating. After Storm Dudley left us, we had this one, which is the second one, which is over our heads right now.
It's been windy,
Although
bro.
it's not as bad here, but it is causing chaos in other parts.
Yeah.
We're in the amber color, but in other parts it's in red. But we are in the amber color at the moment, which is somewhere like an orange reddish.
All
So
right.
it's not as bad. But we're
It's
definitely
kind of getting warmer where I'm at.
So right about now, Glenn? I currently have finished painting my adaptational realistic Henry custom from the fleet that I mentioned to you about yesterday. And right now, I don't have a smokebox paper printout for the face, but the body has been completely finished, and I need to find a way to super glue the smokebox to the body very, very soon. So I'll present you the model. So here we have the upper torso, which is similar to the style that I gave off.
Yep.
Could have yourselves like a Black 5-ish Henry with splashers, which is cool. And then we have his tender representing the GNR. It's like, he's very experimental type Henry.
Yeah, Slim Killer, Slim Killer, if you want to rewatch the stream that it's Thomas Tank and I were in, you need to go and rewatch that and explain, and you'll
Yes.
understand
And a heads up, I'll explain how right now I'll explain how I came up with the backstory for my Henry. I don't have a backstory for the other 4 engines I did, but like Henry's was sought out while I was in the stream with Glenn like yesterday.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. Let me tell you.
I took complete inspiration from this whole thing. The thing that I have with this Henry is like it follows the same way as the 2 Henrys theory, but except with a more realistic take and a more understandable learning from the crew, because like the crew will roll as Henry dealing with the trauma that he's gone through. The idea is that like we'll keep the idea of an old experimental engine from stolen plans from the GNR locomotive that someone thieved out from Nigel Gresley in secrecy. The train was built, and we'll keep the idea. And to me, I'll keep the idea that there were 2 other experimental builds of the same experimental train, but Henry was just the first one that was built.
Hey guys.
Oh, I
Hey,
mean,
look,
I'm describing there's my headcanon for a realistic Henry I have right now. Yeah, and once we brought up the fact that like Gordon was like, oh, I'm losing my focus. The wind's just, eh. But yeah, the idea about this Henry is just straightforward. He's like an experimental locomotive that has his priorities of being like whatever there is. The same stories as normal, like how the whole flying kipper thing and like the problems with the train are kept. Because like this is an experimental, realistic build of Henry that will still have steaming problems like the actual story Henry and television. The crew actually think there's just like minor problems with the train, but they ignore it, and like the train's performance gets worse. And then that's when repairs and cleanups are needed for this locomotive. And of course, we come to the Flying Kipper story. The special coal was, of course, used to improve the train's performance. And once we continue on with the Flying Kipper story happens, but because like to add some realism, the crew obviously do not know that they were switched on the wrong line. Well, they think the signal is green, but we're heading the right way. And to be more realistic with the whole wreck, the GNR prototype Henry has the crash, and to be more realistic, the train hits the cars, and the monster's more like rolling stock, precisely. That's what does in the end.
Hey, just to let you know as well, Thomas Tank, I'm sorry if we're going to have to skip for this as well. But like I said, not only has this been a very crazy wild day because of the of Storm era, or whatever it's called again, Eunice or whatever its name is, and of course the return of Peter and Brian in Stories of Sodor, ending of season 4, which has just been phenomenal. But the biggest news is about to be told, and as you, I think Lightning is, let's just say, I haven't spoken a lot, but it's good to see you back, mate, because let's just say the biggest history news just came down a few months ago, because WWE Legend, The Undertaker, the Phenom himself, is finally going to be inducted into the WWE's Hall of Fame 2022. And honestly, this is the biggest, happiest news
We've
I've
all
had.
been waiting this long for it, honestly.
Yeah, we
I'm
waited.
surprised about this news too. I've been on a WWE rerun after a while,
God,
like watching
bro.
a few moments on YouTube as well.
Well, it's a bad era in WWE now, but if you want to go back like in 2015 and 16 and
I've been
to
mostly
the,
rewatching the 2017, the 2018, the older
Oh,
stuff,
that was
like
great.
the montage
That was
stuff I watched.
that was basically a bad time, mate. That was one of the worst
I had
times
a
ever.
huge thing for WWE around 2017 or so, ever since the John Cena meme. That's what piqued my interest in it.
Listen,
It's my
mate,
interest for
The John
WWE isn't
Cena
as
meme, believe it or not, it was actually pretty funny. I remember, I pulled up to
Yeah.
my cousin's house, right, and they were big WWE fans and all that. So I have like my phone ready, the whole John Cena meme ringtone on me, and then I just walk in, I just start blasting it, and then they just start attitude adjusting each other for like no reason whatsoever. But it was
listen,
funny.
man. I look. I know John Cena's his finishes now has been called the attitude adjustment. I still call it the classic FU. Because original, old school. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyways, especially like I said, if you want to watch the actual wrestling back in the days, go and watch it back from the Hulk Hogan era to Stone Cold into the Ruthless Aggression era.
the
You
one
will
thing
have,
I have.
trust me, you will have a blast with you from that time period because let's just say it was the golden age, man, of wrestling.
The one thing about the WWE channel, I've watched like the top 20 moments that the Undertaker has had specifically, and by God, were some of them actually horrifying and interesting at the same time.
I've seen all of them. I've been around. I've actually been there from the very beginning, despite the fact that I wasn't born until '91. Just a few months after Undertaker debuted at Survivor Series 1990. It's quite a strange comparison, And ironically enough, a month after I was born, a month after I was born, he began his impressive undefeated streak at WrestleMania, beating Jimmy Snuka in the process. It was quite ironic that me and Taker's, once say like my life and his career, they've kind of like paralleled a little bit. It's kind of intriguing, and I instantly liked who he was. He was my third wrestler I ever knew of because Ultimate Warrior was the man who got me into wrestling. God bless his soul. Hulk Hogan was already there because we already knew who the name was, but Taker was like lurking in the background, and because there were other greats. You had Bret Hart, Randy Savage, Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper, Legion of Doom, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase, Jake Roberts, the whole bunch, everything. The Taker was just right there because when he debuted, a lot of people didn't know that a new era had been formed on that day because he changed the landscape forever of the WWE because his character was not like anybody else's, and since then, he progressed over time, I mean, I love his character. I was never scared of his character, although I will
Well, to
admit,
some people who saw it for the first time, seeing someone who rolled as an undead man with unholy supernatural powers
yeah,
can be a little freaky.
yeah, but back then it was. Where nowadays it's kind of strange now, but back then it was like really cool. And I'm not gonna lie to you, being as a kid, growing up with my imagination, I felt that that's what some of us human beings could be capable of possessing. It was strange.
In a fantasy world, that is something humans can do, and that's what WWE pushed to its boundaries with the Undertaker, and that's why I find him a cool fighter.
Yeah, he debuted at a time when WWE was entering was in its cartoony stages. Although you did have wrestlers who could wrestle like a pro, but their colorful outfits were very cartoonish. I mean, Hogan looked I mean, Hulk Hogan and Warrior were unique, colorful.
Mhm.
They had that cartoonish look, but to me, they looked like wrestlers that could actually, in my opinion, look like a wrestler. Not like this made up entertainment storyline. You know what I'm saying? I like that could really wrestle with you. But back then, it was just all cool, and Taker had a different style the way he wrestled. And at the time, I didn't know what an Undertaker was. I just thought the name was just fictional. I didn't know it was about caskets and graves and churchyards and and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, huh, so that's what an Undertaker looks like the Western style, which is what Taker originally looked like, and it looks quite unique, to be honest. And as we know, Taker had a great run for the first 7 years. Was just incredible, very featuretic. It was like this, you know, character from the dark side, and then as you know, come 1997 into 1998 was the peak of the birthing of my childhood when I really fell in love as an absolute old school WWE fan because when the Attitude Era started, when you had Triple H, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah, business hit big time. But you had Mankind. You had Mankind, who was one of Undertaker's biggest rivals, because he was a freak of nature, and to me, the best gimmick who could ever rival Undertaker was his kayfabe brother, Kane, the Big Red Machine. Yes, he is the guy.
Speaking of like the WWE wrestler Kane, there was one moment I completely remember from the top 10 funniest Kane moments that I've seen.
Oh yes, the funny moment.
One where it's like, "You have anything to say? I'm going to Disneyland."
Yeah, that bit when he poured water over Daniel Bryan in 2012, 10 years ago. Yeah, that was.
Hey, Roger,
Oh yeah, that bit in the backstage.
Yeah, that was
That
hilarious.
was something. I cracked that for a minute.
I did too.
Oh,
listen, Kane may be a scary big dude, and yes, he can be.
He can be frightening with this red aurora he gives off and the flames, but even he can give us a good chuckle.
But here's the thing: he's even bigger and scarier than Undertaker in a strange way. In
a strange way, yes, because like mostly red is a symbol of frightening imagery. Purple can be in a mystical, frightening way, but red is just a sign of complete fear.
Listen, the colors of Kane in red and black which resemble fire and smoke. Okay, that's what it was, because he was quote unquote burned. But at the same time, with Undertaker, he debuted with the black and greyish Western attire, and then he left and he came back in the purple and black, which was the original Deadman gimmick. And that's basically the cosplay I do now. To give you a heads up, I've been cosplaying Undertaker for since 2007, and it still goes on to this day. Still as a tradition of my honor and respect to him, which even himself has appreciated. I've met the guy in person. He's a wonderful.
You have?
Yeah, 3 years ago I met him.
Oh.
24 years I waited for that moment, and he loved it. He loved my style, the look of him. I recaptured his 1994 to 1996 look perfectly, and it was amazing. He was wonderful. He's got stiff right hands, but he was a gentle person. He was just basically just being himself, aka being Mike Calloway. That's his real name. And with Kane though, he was just an amazing guy.
I know.
Look, Kane's a big, scary, tall lad, but he's such a nice fella. And that's the scary thing about it, because just like with Undertaker. But here's the thing: I idolized Kane because, let's just say, he had his character, the gimmick, the look, the theme song, the mask.
The theme showed personified fear. Like it wasn't intentionally. Like it in cases of some people who found the theme. Like there are two cases how you could interpret Kane's theme. For some fans, it goes hard.
Interpret is like, it's okay, and then
for some fans,
and then
it's like it goes hard, like it slaps in a metallic way to show power. And for some people who are afraid when it comes to it.
Listen, I was never scared of Kane's character. Look, I was never scared of Kane's character. I just went absolutely crazy batshit whenever he would emerge. Like when the lights go out and you hear that organ, something's good, badass is gonna go down.
When you hear that organ, the red hue, the fire and the smoke, you
Yeah,
know what's up.
and especially when the flames shoot up, you know who it is instantly. It's like like I said. I mean, what was I going to say with because the thing is with Kane, you never knew when he would show up, and the thing is, you have to wait. You have to watch out for his pyro to go off. That's the signifier for it, and it would be loud and hot because those were real flames that would come out. And with Undertaker, you never knew when he was going to come out. When the lights went out, you'd either guessed would it be Taker or Kane, or would they both come out? The only way you would guess if you heard Kane's organ going off, or you hear Taker's infamous bell, toll, gong going off, and then you'd know.
The
But the
ominous
thing-
bell, then
Yeah.
the second you hear one bell and let's go, you know Taker's going to show up.
Yeah, but just the thing is, you just don't know when and where, though. That's
You don't
the
know
thing.
where he's going to show up. That's the scary thing about the two of them. Like, and you can imagine yourself in one of those wrestlers' positions. Like, you're in the ring. You have to go up against either Kane or Undertaker, but you never know when they're going to show up.
But if you see them both together, that's basically the end of the world for you.
Basically, you're about to enter you're about to enter Armageddon, but in the form of two human beings.
Basically the two.
Hello,
half-
Dixie Farm Boy.
Hello.
Hey, Dixie boy, nice to see you. All I will say, man, is that it was just, I was laughing my head. I was just, when they're together, it's awesome. But like I said, guys, but when Kane came out, like I said back in '97, he's basically his debut, in my opinion, is the best unexpected debut in the history of wrestling because because when he came out through the fire with Paul Bearer behind him and Taker's watching him come down, and you see him walking through the cell door, and then all of a sudden he just grabs the door and he rips it off his hinges and he goes straight in the ring and the pyro blows off. I mean, what more could you ask for? And Kane nails a tombstone and he just goes out, and like I said, I instantly fell in love with whoever this guy was, and I felt like I felt a connection. The theme, the look, the style of how he was. It's funny because with my life, with me with being Asperger's and how I acted and the way how I used body language to communicate, not to speak as much, everything that Kane was doing, I kind of replicated because, listen, I'm a diehard Kane fan, the biggest fan you'll ever meet up with, because everything he did, I copied, like move for move, word for word, the walking, and just listening to his theme song just made me happy and not scared, if you know what I'm saying. It made me feel like
It's
I was.
more of a feeling of, to me, it's more of a feeling of power when you hear it.
I just get comfortable with it. And every time I heard the theme, I would just sing it. I would copy his entrance, do the lifting of the arms and bringing them down. I play with him every time I was on the video games or the figures, which I still have. That goes to show you he had a positive impact on my life.
Mhm.
Like how much I inspire his character, basically, because I have a mask like Kane did. And here's the thing. Whenever I would get depressed, even to this day sometimes, I would rarely put it on to hide my sadness. That's how I use Kane's mask to portray how I feel.
There's also like one moment in WWE where I'm not sure who Kane's opponent was, but one point he demasked Kane, and after the mask came off, half of the face looked like it was burned, and when I first saw it, I was like,
Wait. You're referring to SummerSlam 2000 when Undertaker, when he was the American Badass, he ripped part of Kane's mask off, and you could just about see, quote unquote, the burn marks that his brother inflicted on him as a kid. Yeah, I remember it all too well.
it was like I'm not sure if that was I don't know my era of WWE stuff like this. I just watched the compilations that show up, but it was someone that Kane was against, and the mask was ripped right off, and we saw him on one side, only the burned side exposed, looking like he was in a heap of rage.
That was Undertaker.
Was it? Taker ripped the mask off?
Yeah, that was the first time we saw.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, SummerSlam 2000, where we were trying to expose his quote unquote burnt face when he was busted open, when he was bleeding.
That's actually a bit of a good minute there, to show what burns Kane has unveiled and what he hit with the mask.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He was to me the best gimmick to the Undertaker. But listen, he was my hero. I loved what he did. Even when he does the maneuvers, when he was grunting, when he makes that growling noise, or when he yells up when he does the choke slam or anything else, I would do it too, because and I'm gonna actually let you in on something. When I used to see what Kane looked like, the attire that he was wearing that first time, I was not convinced he wasn't human. I thought, because
He was an
here's the
entirely different beast. That's what you thought?
he was like a real monster, like a reality monster, and I actually felt the mask was attached to his own face, like the long hair and everything else. I actually felt, there was a connection to something. I mean, we all know he's based off Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I kind of actually, this is the crazy thing, because in '97, when Kane debuted at Bad Blood on October the 5th, let's just say '97 was the same year I fell in love with Star Wars. And, Darth Vader, being the best tragic hero / villain of them all. I felt like for some reason Kane reminded me so much of Darth Vader because number one, Vader was all in black, and of course he carried a red lightsaber. And I saw Kane dressing in the red and black attire, and I thought, I wonder
This
if
is
that's
just a
Star Wars. I
theory.
don't know why. It just made me feel like there was a connection there.
I know we're getting a little. I know
Hey,
we're
Kane.
mentioning WWE and all, but like, can I go a little off topic for a second and continue the backstory of my realistic Henry?
Yeah, we will do afterwards, but we'll
Okay,
get back to
I'll hold that
Undertaker
off for now.
introduction. Sorry, mate. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
What's up, Michael?
So you know the TV show Quantum Leap, right?
Quantum Leap.
Yeah,
I need to Google that. I
Never
don't
heard
know.
of it.
I don't remember Quantum Leap. I gotta Google that real quick.
NBC is bringing it back. I'm not big on NBC, but I do like watching it. But I do like watching Quantum Leap.
I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever watched it before.
Quantum-
But anyways, Lightning King, since you're up here as well, do you want to get your thoughts about anything before we continue on? Like, about, with Kane,
Stories of
we were speaking
Sodor.
about Stories of Sodor and as well as Undertaker's Hall of Fame introduction because, as well as all the stuff that we're talking about.
To be quite honest, Undertaker, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Honestly, at that point.
Many felt like he was going to have it just before he retired 2 years ago, and then you could have said the words, behind the podium. I think if anybody's going to induct him in, I think Kane should do it. After all, Undertaker did the announcement last year of Kane's introduction, so he should do it in
To be honest, it would make sense that Kane did it.
and
It
then
would make sense.
yeah, they can do it together, and then Kane will be a two-time Hall of Famer in the process. I can only imagine what Undertaker's going to look like when he comes out. Maybe he'll come out, maybe himself.
Undertaker would probably come out looking like that. Wait, is this like a 2022 return or something?
No, he's retired now. After 30 years in the business, he finally hung his boots. Well, he finally hung his cap up and went back to the dark side.
So
But
the dead man is finally rest in peace, as they'd say.
Well, he has in a way, but this to me is the final journey. Then he can truly say he can rest in peace now, or he could just take one last walk down, or he could be himself in the suit, and then slowly shed it away, and then he could just become himself, Mark Calloway. Who knows what he'll do? But then again, he could show up at WrestleMania when they do the celebration, and Taker can take one last walk. Because he never got to do it when the coronavirus hit. So I think he should have one last ride, quote unquote, down to the ring.
I feel like that should happen too, but like
at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania, in
there's
front of a live crowd, and he can finally say goodbye to the audience. To his crease of the night, he can finally say it in the ring. He can finally have his last moments with the audience.
I actually think that could happen as a possibility. Like, I really want that to happen.
Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin did it back in 2009 when he was inducted. He took his suit off and everything, and he went down the ring and had a celebration one last time before he did it. Anyways, Lightning King. Like I said, it's been a while since we spoke, but again, it's just so fantastic to hear you again. And again, Undertaker's Hall of Fame, I'm just so happy that he finally got it. But like I said, I can just only imagine what Mark Calloway's thinking right now because, I hope to see him again one day if he ever does. I mean, seeing him that first time around was magical in the suit and tie. I mean, when I was dressed up like him. But like I said, anyways, when it came to, like I said, he and Kane had some great moments. Like the first time they fought at WrestleMania 14, that probably the best match they ever had. The best match they ever had. when Kane nearly beat the streak, in 1998, and we won't talk about that, but it was a good moment, when Kane kicked out the tombstone twice, being an absolute realistic monster that he was, which proved that he's just as powerful as Undertaker is. And of course, the only time I will admit this is when Undertaker came back in 2004 as a hybrid Deadman, when he was a mixture of his biker and his Deadman look. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that was the best WrestleMania entrance. I mean, it's good. I mean, he's had all kinds of good ones, but that one alone, oh my goodness, that was just something. To this day was amazing. Like, it was just so well done. And and he's coming down, and I'm not gonna lie, despite Kane was maskless when he didn't have his mask on, it was good to see them in the ring together. But at the same time, I'm going to be very honest, that was the only time Undertaker's entrance gave me slight intimidation, because I was like, oh my god, he's actually back as the dead man. But I was thinking, what would he look like? And just seeing him come down with Paul Bearer and the Druids, I mean, it was just, what more could you ask for? I mean, it was just fantastic.
Indeed.
And we have to thank Kane for that, because he brought back the Undertaker that he knew back from the dead, at least, But then again, what I really liked as well was when Undertaker came back as the American Badass, which was, I think honestly we all kind of did miss. And when he fought AJ Styles as his last opponent in that Boneyard match as the Unholy Trinity version of himself, that was just fantastic. Like, he was just himself, the American Badass, and the Dead Man all in one go.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, there was some great stuff and memories that Taker's made in the last over 30 years. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's basically a career and a legacy that will never be duplicated. There's only one Undertaker. Despite the fact there's a lot of Underfakers, let's just say ever since 1990, people have been inspired by the Phenom, which is a good thing. Why do you see people like myself and others cosplay as him, or dress up like him, or impersonate who he is, or buy his action figures, or play as him on the video games, or kind of posters, or or whatnot? It's because he left an amazing legacy that, in my opinion, hangs over
forever
everybody
stick
else.
with her, buddy.
He's basically, I know Sting, in my opinion, is like the second closest to Taker, because let's just say this. I know I used to keep saying Sting was the Batman of TNA and WCW, and now he's in AEW. I actually think I've always looked at Undertaker as the Batman of the world of the WWE, because he was always lurking in the background, always doing what he did best. But it's kind of funny, actually, because I used to see Taker partially in the background, but then I would also sometimes see Kane lurking even further in the background, as if he was like the ultimate villain or something. Like he was Darth Vader or something. And what's funny about it is that sometimes, despite Kane's being portrayed as a villain, I didn't think Kane was a bad guy or a good guy. He was like in between, and I never once booed him. I always went crazy for him because he was my idol, He basically inspired me to create my character in the Titanic fanfics, who also got burnt like Kane, but even worse. He gets his powers, becoming immortality. I'll explain this to another time, but look, it just goes to show the inspiration that Kane and Undertaker had on my life and everything else. It's a good, it was just an honor to know and to let them do what they did. I'm not going to say I'm done with wrestling, but because since Taker retired, I kind of lost touch. But I still love the other wrestlers, but my die-hard WWE days have long since kind of, well...
It's sad that they did depart ever since Taker left. But
that's what I mean. We all knew it was going to come, but I took it in stride because I was happy that Taker finally did it on the...
I was into skateboarding for a while.
The thing is that I knew it was coming, but I was just happy. I was sad for Taker, but at the same time, I was just so happy he finally got to do it on the anniversary of his debut, 30 years, and I was dressed up like him that night to honor him, and I was just so proud. I had tears down my eyes. I'm not gonna lie. My eyes had rolled into the back of my head, and my eyes were still watering heavily. I don't know how long I did it for, but it was amazing. Look, whenever I put the cap, ever since I put the coat and the replica of his hat on, it's strange. It's like the character of the Undertaker comes alive in me, and I'm not joking. I've had some unusual holy shit moments whenever I dress up like him. I'm not lying to you. It's
There's those
almost
ones where people can cosplay their favorite characters from a television show. And the
I know,
second they complete their character, they feel like the character themselves.
It's the same thing with Kane. I have always felt like I was him growing up. Like, here's the thing. It's like I saw myself in the ring as Kane, getting, no matter if I won or lost, it felt like I was there. That's how much it was.
Yeah. Now, in the meantime,
What do you think, Lightning?
I think it's a good thought.
I just
be right back. All right, boys, be right back.
Okay, guys. Again, I'm just so thrilled and overjoyed. With Undertaker finally going to have that last journey, and if he does have one more ride, I think he should go down the ramp one last time at WrestleMania, get in that ring, and he can finally say it to the audience, and he can finally go. Who knows what they'll do with him?
Yeah.
It'll be intriguing to see what his inductee speech will be like.
Indeed.
Be very intriguing. I'll be very happy to see him when he talks about and reflects back. Like I said, I'm just going to be so happy for him. Even though he's now retired, I still buy the action figures. I still watch his matches, although I just, it's just one of those things, that we all tagged along with. It was because of him I still watched wrestling, or the fact he kept my love for it still intact. But still, I love the merchandising. I love looking back on what he's done. It's like a good, fun thing that's lasted so well over time. Like I said, when Kane got inducted last year in the Hall of Fame, I was just even more super happy for him. It was just so good to see him, doing what he did. And he took the pyro off, and he did it again at WrestleMania. And I was just, I was absolutely having a Kane moment, knowing how I am. Anyways, Lightning King, mate, what's up anyway? Do you want to fill in on
Sure. I'll
anything
say
else?
something. I'm just a little focused right now. I'm just passing the time by doing the spray paint simulator. So.
Oh. Well, as
And
you
an
can
old family friend of mine is going to be here in a few hours.
also,
Haven't
by the
seen
way,
them in
Lightning,
over 9 years, which is going to be nice to have.
Lightning King,
I'm back.
I did
I
my,
haven't seen
I forgot,
I've started my CSW story, and I did get 750 in, as you, a bit earlier than you would like.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, if you want to, you can read the first story in, and you'll be impressed. If you'd like to.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, you're still making your stories?
Yeah, the 750 thing, I was the one who actually sort of got into it.
Boys, it appears while I was upstairs doing something for a brief moment, my phone was ringing, and my ringtone is Thomas's whistle, because, why not? And apparently it comes from an unknown number, so I will once again have to disappear into the shadow realm and confirm to my mother.
No. We don't do Mimi jokes on my streams, okay, pal.
Sorry.
Let's just
My
say
bad.
My
I didn't realize.
ringtone would be Spencer's whistle.
I didn't realize.
My
My apologies.
ringtone is literally Breaking Benjamin Feed the Wolf.
And again, I'll be right back at the moment.
okay.
I need to confirm this.
You can have a rest in the roundhouse if you need to.
Okay.
Hey, Breaking Benjamin, nice. I remember that band. All the best.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, I haven't listened to them in a long while, but I still remember them. Let's just say Sabaton have just been dominating my love for music. And yes, I will be going to see them in a few weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm actually in touch with them. They're wonderful people. Especially they've just done their new track release. But anyways, guys, like I said, now that we've, done. Well, I think we finished about talking about Undertaker's Hall of Fame and great memories and whatnot. I was just going to say, with the Stories of Sodor, let's just say Victor Townsend again did a grand job. Very unexpected, and I was just wondering what were your thoughts about it, Lightning King? What was your your reaction to it when you finally saw it released?
Hang on a minute. Come on. Oh crap! I erased some of the Z that I had right there.
Alright, guys, I've returned.
Sodor, I think it was a good way to end off season 4.
This
And
might be a
there's
little
lot
off
of
topic to what
precedent
Lightning is.
to 5,
Oh,
but
wait.
I'm pretty sure season 5 it'll have just as a bigger impact to the story.
But we don't know what he'll do. We need to find out what introduction Victor's gonna give us.
Yeah, it's like the dynamite. Like that's kind of what I'm looking at. Like the very, very first World War. That's what's got me.
Yeah, it's like
Look,
it's like that rundown.
Whatever happened to that dynamite, and who was the organization that was speaking to Edward on the dock with that one engine that I'm pretty sure the Ministry of Defense used the Ministry of Defense used in that one episode.
Not the MOD, not just for a joke, the MOD. Let's just pretend that didn't stand for the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness. Sorry, I had to throw that one in there.
No, don't worry about it. I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Yeah, I only thought that Undertaker meant the name Ministry and nothing else. I was like, Jesus. Yeah, anyways, I had to throw that one in there, Lightning. Sorry.
No, don't worry
I think it's the group that were talking to Edward. They could have.
I feel like that concept could probably be explored a little more, as well as like the stolen dynamite that Edward and Neil were speaking about in the one episode where we actually get a little bit of recurring Colin and Lily. I feel like that concept of what happened on that day, I feel like that could be explored a little more.
I think it should, yeah. I think rightfully so.
Some guys, a little off topic to what was being described here, but my mother has just confirmed it was a research number about probably my COVID vaccinations.
I see. So
Random
basically,
research.
basically
I didn't answer because, hey, I don't care about that.
But basically, you had an update on, in case you've had your test done or whatever, if you've been
So
vaccinated.
it was a caller. It was a randomly generated call that would deliver a series of questions for you to answer, which I don't do.
Oh,
yeah, it's a common thing that's been happening with my phone, probably. So yeah, and this all happened when I got the booster shot, I think, or my second shot.
I've been vaccinated a total of 4 times. The booster being the 4th one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unvaccinated. I've been fine since after I've been sick in early January.
And this might be a little off topic again, but am I good to describe the rest of my Henry's backstory, or are we still talking about this video?
I think we're almost done with that now, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Too long,
I'll wait a little longer. Let me know when you're ready.
No, you are now, but I'm just saying, it's the fact is don't scrap on for too long, otherwise...
Okay. We left off at the flying kipper crash, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, after the wreck, the driver, of course, got thrown out from the wreck, and of course, had a little bit of an unconscious thing. Last thing I think he will say he saw was just him flying at the snow, then woke up in a hospital. And this, afterwards happened, the train was said to be scrapped and made away. And, but as the train was scrapped in a way or so, this would mean that the train was said to be on the repairs or so. But the smoke box, we'll say that the smoke box and the tender are intact, because in this prototype the train had its own old tender. It had no number because this was an unnumbered train and was soon to be number 3 very, very soon, which was after years. But the driver had, of course, recalled that the train felt like a part of his soul when it broke. A part of his soul shattered.
Just to cut you guys in, sorry for jumping in. If you see my icon...
Oh, yeah, that's the icon.
There he is. There's Undertaker, and there's me right beside him.
That's good.
In 2019, that was when I met up with him in Liverpool, man. You can see how tall he is, but my cosplay makes me like I'm half his own height. I'm only 6 foot tall, and he's 6'10".
I'm 5'9".
I'm 5'8".
I think I'm somewhere
Like-
around 6. I don't know what. I'm not sure if I'm like 6'1" or I don't know. I don't know my own. I know I'm like somewhere around 6, but I don't know what it did you specifically. I gotta get my height checked.
Well, like I said, what you can't see in the photograph is because I'm nearly close to the wall. Taker was actually holding me where my spine is, apparently, so I don't fall backwards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, gentle person, but my
Mhm.
God, was his hand very stiff. Like, yeah, but at least he was gentle though. That's what I'll tell you. He was a caring man.
All right. And after the train was like crashed, Tom had the idea to like bring their number 3 back into service, like because we're talking the realistic locomotives, the faceless machine. Yeah.
Yes,
To do a transfer on this thing, a new Black 5 body was made. No tender, just the torso and the wheels. And what they did was an experimented test to put the old GNR prototype Henry's smoke box on the realistic on the Black 5, and by God, it worked. The old tender was kept too, and the train was later repainted in the same livery that the old engine sported. And of course, because the driver felt uneasy about like how this train fared, because like it's a new train, but he didn't feel like it was the same engine he drove. It's a comfortable new feeling, but he didn't bose with it fully until he worked with an old, wise, experienced fireman who knew the same changes of another train back ago, and he gave him a little lesson that like that this was that it doesn't matter like this it was like he asked specifically what parts of this engine were kept, and preferably the tender and the smoke box. And of course, the fireman did confirm that in a way, it's more of a modernized version of the same train, overhauled in a state. And ever since the fireman got a few answers to the driver's questions, and the driver felt more good about the train that he was driving. And thus, it comes to the end of the story of my realistic Henry sporting the old GNR tender.
That part makes sense.
It makes sense in that way, so.
I'm just
hang
doing
on,
this
we're about to
dating simulator right now, and I'm having a little bit of
Just
fun.
about to be joined by an old friend. Hey there, Roger.
Hey guys,
Hello,
Hey,
Roger!
How are you, buddy?
It's been a while.
I'm good.
Hey, Roger.
man.
Nice to see you. It's good to see you back, mate, because a lot of stuff's been going on, Roger. And again, what did we say about Season 4, Part 2? And again, the ending of it was grand. Did you see it, Roger?
Season
The
4
ending
of like a video
Stories of
that
Sodor,
they watched.
Season 4, Part 2. Did you see it yet?
Have you seen the last episode?
Hang on, let me turn down my TV.
It's alright,
Okay.
I can't even hear you. I can't
You
even
can't
hear
even
it.
hear the TV on your microphone, so you're good.
So anyways, Roger, like
There
I
we
said,
go.
did you see the last episode? The Return?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's nice to finally see Peter back.
I know.
just
I
gonna
was
say-
actually like counting the years, like the entire timeline before.
Same
he got
here.
back.
We all
Like,
did.
and then I like did a whole episode. No, wait, no, not episode. Year count on it.
So anyways, Roger, before we can continue on, Thomas Tank, Roger, would you like to give us your thoughts about Season 4's ending, and of course, what did you like about it, and what were you unsure about it, you know, just to give your personal thoughts about it.
Oh boy.
Come on, Roger. Come on, Roger. It's all right. It's time to, you know, because we're kind of like having a discussion / celebration, because this has been a wild day. Let me tell you.
It's just really been something. I'll give it that.
I've seen the one where Johnny Cuba was somehow able to manipulate the points.
That
Oh,
would be
You mean
cool.
Storm? Yeah, I like that one.
It was sort of like a reference.
One of my favorite episodes.
It's sort of like an homage
Visualization.
to High Winds. That's like sort of what the homage is.
Rust, the narrow gauge ones.
Expansion.
Yeah, expansion, creature, lamp.
What about relationships?
Relationships had to be like the most wild one I ever saw.
The most intense one, a lot of people were saying.
50-50 for me.
But like I said about the whole thing with Pete's return and Brad, and Brian's back as well, and like, what did you think of it, especially when Peter came back, Roger?
Okay, what can I do?
I guess you haven't got much to say, but like I said, it's fantastic. I can just only imagine what will happen in season 5 if Victor decides to.
That'd be shocking to hear too.
Maybe the old Iron Bridge.
We don't know. If we ever get a confirmation,
I feel like if we did do the old Iron Bridge, that one would be amazing to see.
I hope so. Maybe
Only time can tell.
It's funny because here's the thing: what if he actually, we won't know what's going to happen until he does that beginning prior to every episode. He does I
do think that he will introduce oh Christ, I can't even speak. The Orlesdale Railway sooner or later.
Yeah, I meant what's it called again? The intro homage that he does, intro montage when he tells them when it starts and to when it ends. That'll be probably the confirmation we'll get.
Yeah.
Since it's ran to 1964 now, and now we're gonna see.
I'm guessing it'll probably go to either 1964 to 1969 or maybe 1964 to 1970.
That's probably the closest we might get, unless depending on how far he's gonna go. But anyways, who knows? Maybe we'll get to see Flying Scotsman return, because at this point he's already been bought by Alan Pegler. He's in the real timeline. Who knows? Maybe we'll get to see that him and Gordon have a reunion, and maybe
we'll having the reunion of Gordon and Scotsman.
Sodor.
The reunion of Scotsman and Gordon would actually help the storyline, because it would give a little plot line to saying hey, Gordon's family members may be effing dead, but hey,
what else?
There's still Scotsman.
Maybe they could. I feel like you could probably experiment more with Spencer.
Yeah,
Spencer
exactly.
too. As a
you remember Revelations, right? Where they were talking about that stolen dynamite. I'm praying to God we actually get some context for that.
We might get that. Hey, by the way, Roger, every time I see you moving around, you have screens flashing in different colors.
Oh, that's because I'm kind of working on something.
Oh, you're on Roblox, are you?
No. Unfortunately, my laptop went and quit on me.
Oh.
So until my new one arrives, I'm using a temporary one.
Hush.
Which belongs to my mom.
I'm just wondering, what we would see, but I know for a fact we could see Flying Scotsman come back to see, maybe to see him and Gordon. Maybe he'll have his two tenders with him as a reference to enterprising engines.
Yeah, maybe.
Because
that's he might introduce Bertram at some point, but that's sort of up to him.
It's up, yeah. I'm just hoping Peter will continue on be seen now that he's come back. Hopefully he stays around. And what else there? Oh yeah, hopefully we might get to see Flying Scotsman have an American tour, perhaps, maybe.
Oh, yeah. The American tour for Scotsman in the storyline would actually do very beneficial, because we got to count realistic history, or Victor could. He could probably mention a clip of Scotsman on his USA tour in a certain timeline, a certain year for seconds.
Yeah, he could mention it. He could just mention that he's in the tour, or we could perhaps see, or maybe when he does that montaging narration that he does, like maybe we could see it happen near the end or somewhere in the beginning. Who knows? It's up to Victor really, and then as we enter the through the 70s, and then maybe if we get to the 80s, that'll be awesome because that's when Florence crossed to Australia.
Yeah, Flying Scotsman in Australia too seems unique, but like
It was.
It's odd how Mallard also was there too.
Mallard
I
wasn't
think
there
that's
in Australia.
that's when
thought,
Flying
'cause,
Scotsman
like, there was a
will meet
thing I
Johnny
watched.
Cuba.
No. Who knows what will happen? I know I'm rushing about it, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Victor could bring.
I'm
So we
kind of
just got to
speculating that Peter and Johnny Cuber, I think there might be something that will happen with them. I feel like something cool could maybe happen.
Said something like Cuba said something like he had something about Blitzring and 8F, and he's saying that he had a twin. I'm not sure if
Peter could be. Peter is more than likely that source.
Well, then again, we haven't seen another 8F like Peter. If he has got a twin, I don't know, but I'm intrigued to think if he has. Who knows? Unless that was the other engine that looks like him but has the British Railway number on him. Who knows?
At the moment, fellas, before I do go, am I going to present a couple of rolling stock I at one point got and got some things on Christmas and a few customs I want to show off?
If you want
Okay.
to.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Let the audience have a glimpse. So what we have here, now on my spare time, I bought myself another Thomas with Annie and Clarabelle. Unfortunately, the Revolution variant, because I don't have the budget to buy a Tommy one yet. And I thought to myself, what can I do with the spare variant now? And I thought, let's make it the Red Branch Line coaches. And try and shave off the face at the best I can do.
Not bad.
It's not that bad, because in fact, I tried to make it look like the face wasn't on the coaches at all, but it's a bit shabby, but I can update it a bit.
But you have got the livery correct.
Yes, and it consists, because it's at my superstation over there. When I ordered something around summer last year or so, before COVID got off, and I got myself a Tommy Oliver.
Hey.
Rocky!
But here's the
my
thing.
God.
But here's the thing.
The only Trackmaster I ever had was like a Trackmaster Thomas.
But here's the thing. The Oliver I got had no back coupling. I had the hot glue one to the brim and back. Because there was no coupler piece peg inside of Oliver when I actually unscrewed him. And there was a few paint chips now and then on the side, so I had to rework that with a paint setup I had over there.
Oh, I see. You know what I really find a bit discerning about the model? No disrespect. I mean, there's two things about the Oliver model that's okay. It's just that the fact is his face scan looks a little bit, like he was basically like he was high on
He's
as if he had too much Welsh coal, but he's also got his
Duck, I know the Welsh coal is great, but I feel like I'm overwhelming on it.
Yeah,
he's like that, and the wheels being black.
And his smokestack is very, very tiny, just like Henry's is.
Yes, but the black wheels too, a little bit unfitting thing.
Yeah, that can be easily ignored. But again, like I said, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying.
Understood. But then again, I feel like Oliver having black wheels would actually be good for people who want to make him Railway Series accurate. With the color.
That definitely would.
I'm gonna get going here. I'll let you know when I want at the end of season 4.
And then over here we have the Geotrax Arrow I rebought because, hey, childhood.
At least they've got Oliver's livery correct. That's one thing I'll say.
That's one thing I like too. Yeah.
And
back on over here.
Did I just see Hazel for a split second?
Oh yeah, back before all the stuff with Hazel I found out, I at one point did a custom of Hazel.
That's brilliant. Don't worry, we can treat her correctly.
Yes.
Always.
Hence why I keep her stored safe on Superstation next to Arrow over here.
Hey.
Gotta have the Geotrax nostalgia in there somewhere. And Christmas, I got myself a Take and Play Thomas with the winter caboose.
Oh.
But unfortunately, the wheel was crinked on this one, so he doesn't do a good performance.
I still don't get why they gave him the silver snowplow from season 6 on there.
It's odd, but hey, it's decent.
It's very nostalgic, perhaps. Maybe they wanted something nostalgia, maybe.
Yes. But then, alongside with the Oliver I got myself Spencer's Special Coach.
Hey.
Which didn't have a front coupling. So I had to
Yes.
give it one from a spare train and a new coupling thing.
It may be Spencer's coach, but you can also use it as a stunt double for the governor's coach as well.
Yeah, governor's coach, Spencer's coach can be both. And alongside with the coach and Oliver, I got a Tomy Express boxcar and red brake van that comes off and allows people to sit in.
Oh, I see.
It was two colorful Tomy wagons.
Roger's laughing at Ball. What the heck is up, man?
What are you laughing?
Are you getting some nostalgia?
Nothing, just kind of a joke.
Or was it because you're thinking of the Thomas Christmas thing that you saw and you're wondering, why was he given a silver plow? And you said something like you were trying to say something earlier about that? As if you never got the model yourself.
But this was back in 2020 when COVID started settling down before the variants. I at one point went out and got a Revolution Green Thomas, which I like the most because
The
when I was
London
little,
Brighton South Coast Railway version. Ah, nice.
And alongside with it, I got Percy's Revolution mail car and a clean Toad.
Oh, you finally
Oh
got
my
him.
god, you've got the great West.
Oh,
One of my
I've been trying to find a Tommy Toad on eBay for a while now.
The guy that had this with this classic Thomas was a bargain, and I couldn't drop the opportunity. I couldn't leave the opportunity, and I did.
Well, that was talk about a good
I'm gonna
opportunity.
get here, guys.
But at least you've got Toad, and now you can hook him up with Mr. Oliver.
I did. That's the thing. And then when those new changes were coming up, I believe you can guys understand what kind of wagon this is.
And it railway series related.
It kind of bodes more with this guy.
Oh shoot! No, get down there. We don't want to see that.
Sorry, but I thought I'd make a mock-up of. But because the toys were going to exist, I made a mock-up of what the wagons or cargo would look like in the future toys.
Which is absolutely going to degenerate the franchise.
Yeah.
I've told people don't buy the new merchandising. Like, please, for Audrey's sake,
I'm
don't.
sticking to my classic wooden railway merchandise.
True.
Same here.
But alongside with that, I had an old pair of 2006 Thomas and Clarabelle coaches that had no stickers, and I thought, what can I do to make good use of this? And I made red Concept Express coaches.
Oh, that's nice. From season 2.
To me, these fit with the Revolution Trackmaster stuff. Because, yeah. And because that worked out so well, 2020 also had a surprise in store for me as well. My mother ended up buying me a Flying Scotsman.
Oh, superb. That's still been
So
sold.
now
I'm trying to find Flying Scotsman.
So we have a mainland train combo, and I love it.
Like I said to you, but again, look, despite 2020 was the darkest year of our lives, at least it wasn't as bad for being a Trains fan or a Thomas fan.
The only model of Scotsman I do have is my wooden railway one.
Oh, hang on.
The wooden railway's not that bad.
Hey, I've got that model too as well.
The wooden railway Scotsman, I don't find that terrible. It actually looks pretty good. The double tenders, everything, amazing.
I've got that version of Scotsman, except you had the bigger head scan. I had the original, the original version.
Yeah.
When it first came out. Oh, I see you've been doing some writing.
Yeah, I've been a bit busy remastering some of my older stuff.
I thought you were... Oh. Okay.
And yet, dudes, we have some more Christmas surprises in the game too. I at one point got a push-along Diamond Thomas. As much as some people don't like push-along, I love the shine of this thing.
I never saw that in stores at all with the 75-year one. I never saw that in stores.
It's kind of sad that this stuff is probably not... This stuff has never been seen in UK, but this was, I think, an online exclusive. Probably. I don't know. Considering the fact that the new show changes.
Or was it basically just for the Americans, perhaps?
I think only Americans and Canadians. So, yeah, you got a glimpse of what having this thing would be like. Yeah. And the follow-on, too, I also got a Thomas and the Jet Engine Revolution memorable pack thing. Oh, Thomas wearing this headgear. Thomas wearing this feels reminiscent to his way how he wanted to have wings in the Hit era. But, I don't mind the Thomas with this ropes, but here's the only thing I don't like about. Here's the only two things I don't like about the set.
Hey, Lighting, will you say something?
Sure, say something. You can.
Yeah, Lane, were you saying something about that version of Thomas's model?
Yeah, I was just saying it was nice. That's it.
Oh,
It's
sorry,
nice.
I thought you were trying to say something then.
It
No,
gives a
don't
good
worry,
feeling of
man.
him. It gives a good feeling of him dashing down the line at high speeds without the pilot goggles. But then
Yeah.
again, yeah, it's a good accessory to put on him because, like, hey, aesthetical for the hit era stuff and all. But the only thing that we all can agree on that we may not like about this set is that the fact that the crates for the jet engine was a standard green wagon with boxes, which
Okay, that makes
Doesn't?
perfect. That's quite cool, I'll admit.
it's quite cool because like it's a random rolling stock car for your collection, but because it's associated with the jet engine, it doesn't fit. And then the jet engine, good God, they butchered the jet engine.
Well, to be honest, it may
It
look
looks
it
like
may
a
look butchered.
fireball's just coming out of there.
Listen, it's just look. It may look botched or
Off?
whatever. Yeah, it may be botched in a way, but to be honest, if you would ask me as a standard, fan, I would say it would look more like Railway Sewage related.
It would actually, actually, now that I think about it, this actually would fit in the Railway Series universe because like it's just a rocket, probably a few crates, not too many, but like, yeah. And
That's the only way to get around it.
and then the next thing I have here, Thomas, not being a train.
Oh God.
I actually have that one.
Thomas
my
with this armor doesn't look that bad, but like the fact that they so like it could. I wish like if it was just him looking like this, without the scare face and having a determined expression,
That would
and without the
work.
big cape, I actually would like it because like it could be Thomas wearing some cool leather armor for a festival
what if
related to Romans.
Or what if he was wearing that with the cape, let's leave the cape on, but he had like Superman's colours on him?
That would actually fit well. But the fact that he provided a helmet
Oh,
with the thing,
now I'm seeing Thomas like he's portraying in the film 300, and he's yelling the words, "This is Sparta!"
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
then-
was
and then we
weird.
Believe it
have
or
more-
not, someone actually did that.
Oh my
Oh.
God, are you kidding me, Roger?
I want to see if I can pull off this logo if I can. I
Nope.
want
Hang
to
on.
try
Let me
it.
get if I can.
Oh my
Okay, I'm
God.
gonna bring up the last
Oh,
item in a bit.
God.
Show what Roger has to showcase.
Sorry, Lightning, I had to bring it in. It just reminded me so much of 300. I had to say that.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Let's see if
A
I can
classic
pull this
meme that
logo
was
off.
different
I
than
want
the
to try
faces
doing this. Jesus Christ, I'm gonna be busting my ass off trying to pull this crap off.
All right, and while waiting for Roger to showcase what he's got there, a Thomas item that I love the most. He's got a snowplow and snowflakes on him.
An
I love
actual-
this model.
No, it's
Hey, he's happy about it.
Here we
Bless
go.
me.
Unless it may be snow or powder on his thing, unless he snipped up too much,
Yeah.
unless he snipped up some flour to make him sneeze.
Mm-hmm. I think I have. Oh yeah, there's like another thing I got too. I forgot. Around Christmas 2019,
Oh wait, I can
I
pull
got
it up
like
on my phone. Hang on.
Playrail Rosie.
Oh man, you got Rosie, man.
Yeah, her eyebrows look
Is
a
that
little
the
thick. Cause
Playrail?
like, yeah, Playrail Red Rosie.
That's the red version.
But here's the thing: her eyebrows look a little thick because like I moved around too much, and she kind of hit her face, and her eyebrows were chipping. So I had to carefully mark them to look close to her. So
Well, they look all right to me. I mean,
they look all right, not that bad. It's just like the marker I used was a little too thickened.
The one thing they could have got right with the model is that they could have had her headlamp actually shine.
That's one change I wish they would have done.
That's what they should have done.
And if to make the thing a little more authentic, you probably could add like a tint of silver in the headlamp to make it look like more of an actual lamp.
But golden's all right. It goes with Rosie nicely.
Like, yes, gold does work for Rosie, but like add a silver circle inside the space where the lamp's supposed to shine, then you got yourself a working Rosie, which seems cool.
Cool.
Bless you.
Sorry.
Oh, and yeah, I forgot to mention, I also have
Oh, God.
oh dear, Duck.
Yes, Doc, I get it.
His things are taped because like it's an old model, and
Well, of course, it's an old one. It's very recognizable.
yep.
Like I said, I was a bit surprised you had Hazel's model. That was really clever, nicely well made. But then again, we don't want to
Yeah, bring up the awful stuff. Yes.
No, but you actually were aware of.
Yes, I was aware of what happened after, and I thought I'd say so.
But the good thing is, at least we fans are going to treat Hazel with respect and bring her. Let's just say it's a bit like we're going to try and reinvent her, like I did with Timothy.
Oh, I forgot to mention on the Superstation I had this Timothy mini.
Oh, good. Who made that version?
It don't look that bad, but like this was an old mini my brother had, and like it was a spare, so I took this and tried to make Timothy in this style, but considering the mini's limited features, I tried to make it look steady as possible.
What?
It actually turned out pretty well, honestly.
What? Okay, guys, I know I don't like the reboot, but that's definitely what I can see Timothy looking like.
He'd be that small. He'd probably just be the same appearance.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I can see him looking like that on the show.
As far as I can tell, there's like a few. I have it over here real quick. There's a couple of other custom minis I own here too. And
Aha! Found it!
He's found
Ow.
Yeah, I
Don't look
found
from-
something.
Okay, showcase what you got real quick. Well,
He's
I'm
All right, but it's
looking
gonna
for
be
you.
on my phone, so
You have the screen share, yes. Okay.
He's not sharing
Okay,
screen, I'm
hang
sharing
on.
before blast.
yeah.
So somebody did that.
YouTube again.
Oh man.
Okay. Sharing. Give me a second.
God damn it, I messed that part up.
Okay.
Gotta get the lines right.
Okay. Just waiting to see if I have any other minis.
You know what? I'll just show it on my phone, but first let me get out of the sun.
I can see it. Oh wow, there's your train modeling. Oh nice.
Hey, the entire layout. Nice.
At least
Thank
it's
you.
nice and shiny on your end.
Okay, let's see if I can pull this off now.
Okay, I can see him. Oh, I see. Oh,
Oh,
god.
that's neat.
Oh!
That's a
capsule
that's-
playground.
That's a rewound, Thomas. That's like one of those models you turn around and you just twine around and then eventually let him run.
Yes. And then, dudes, like, I have, like, a lot of spare Thomas minis. I have a lot of minis in here,
The
like,
hell?
some are variants. Oh, armored.
Oh, for a second I thought it was Thomas in the chocolate factory then for a second.
Alrighty, now to put all this color in, because I don't think I did this logo right, but who really cares?
There it is. Hang on.
Put it all in.
Hey, there's Henry.
He's armored. He's ready to go.
I could just imagine like a whole "This is Sparta" clip, and then like it's just Thomas just pushing down.
Oh,
doors.
it's 3,000, but with Thomas.
Yeah.
I love that video.
Oh, man. Sesame. Oh, and there's Emily.
I wish like, if anything, I do consent. If this video was ever refilmed with voice actors, I think they probably have Thomas scream, "This is Sodor," and
Yes! Perfect. Hang on. Here it comes. Wait.
My city steps. Salt my queen. Threaten my people with slavery and death. Choosing my words carefully, Persian.
yeah.
Perhaps you should have done the same. This is blasphemy. This is
Thomas,
madness.
You know, it's a little bit wonky.
It's a little wonky, but we can see straight.
Yeah.
Come on, Thomas. Say the phony.
He's going to say it.
This is Sparta!
Oh, wow. At least
was-
Diesel got his revolutionary death.
Well, what you think?
We're revolutionary. Revolutionary. This is Sodor! And just knocks him off.
The
Oh,
way
I mean,
that it was well done. Oh my god.
But what if he did the
I
Diesel
can't
10?
even complain.
You know,
If someone had a good Diesel 10 voice, that could work well. At the moment, dudes, before I actually do get going, I have 3 more meat swaps. One that's a special mini, and two more customs. With Spare Thomas, I did the LBSC E2 tank engine at the closest and carefulest livery I could do possible.
What the hell happened to the engine's face? It's like his face melted off.
I couldn't scave the face off, so that's why it looks a little awful.
Like
but the body looks decent, and it sits
Oh
on top of
my
the roof.
god, that face looks terrifying!
It's like, help! I'm E2! Oh yeah, we can't forget Alfred as a mini, who I use Gordon for.
As a joke.
Why does that somehow look so accurate?
Here's a joke. Since when did Alfred become a mini? Get it?
Since forever.
Sorry, I had to bring that one in there. Alfred as a mini.
Oh, I forgot there's the Batmobile.
Hey, Batman. So you
and
the
Santa Rockin' Sled car, which is a pretty cool Hot Wheels car. But one of my friends called this car Santa's Pimp.
What?
Santa's Pimp.
It doesn't even look like one for crying out loud.
He rides a sleigh, and he turned his sled into a pimpin' car.
Oh my god. I don't know why. I'm just getting like Family Guy flashbacks. I'm just getting Family Guy flashbacks when Stewie said, "Do you look like the Statue of Liberty's pimp?" And then like him and Brian just high five.
Oh, guys, by the way, you know how some people mentioned that the world was... That's okay.
I know. It doesn't even look like so. It doesn't even look like the what's his name's pimp for going out. Like it looks like
the sled.
Like yeah, it looks more like a Batman / car that turned into like machine or whatever.
And one thing I'll mention for sure, dudes, like I'm gonna ask you something real quick. Now, this might be a little controversial, and I don't want to bring up controversial stuff, but like, do you think Earth is round or flat?
The Earth is round.
Oh god.
It's controversial, but I want your answers.
It's not flat. It is round.
We were wrong.
It's
Thomas.
round.
The Earth is Thomas.
Oh my god, that is the worst. That is my worst. That is literally my paralysis demon. That's
I'm the world.
Demon in a nutshell.
Yep.
It's the It's the word adventure we do not want to be reminded of.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can't forget to mention we have these dudes who light up.
Hey, the light up modeling. That's quite nice. Very nostalgic.
I hate that Thomas.
I wish I got my hands on one of those.
I hate that Thomas lights up brighter than Steven.
You got the Simon splashes. Get the red one, and you got basically the
whole pack.
You basically got James and Henry serving in the Force. Like, what you gonna do when the tank engine, the big red engine comes for you?
Dear God, I cannot even imagine a whole red.
Oh yeah, dudes. Any of y'all want some sushi? Do you want some sushi?
What?
Sushi birdie.
Oh God, why are you bringing Japanese sushi? Oh, for God's sake, don't let me lose.
Why does that look like something I would want to punch so hard, but then I would forget it every single time?
Oh yeah, dudes. By the way, I'm feeling a little musical.
Oh
God, a piano diesel. Are you crazy?
Or duck. Piano duck. Duck's getting a little musical.
That is the one thing that I did not expect to see today.
It is a weird combo.
That's basically batshit Thomas merchandise if I ever saw it.
Mm-hmm. Did I forget to mention Thomas being a rainbow?
Oh God. Does that mean he truly elevated himself from the Thomas universe into the MLP universe?
Maybe.
Oh God.
What?
Unless he
came back. Oh my God, dudes! I have 2 Percys.
Who's the real one?
I'm you. We're both you.
I'm Percy. No, So who's the real Percy? I am Thomas. Don't let this imposter fool you. He's been trying to mimic my.
Those imposters fool you.
I don't know why. I could just imagine like Miss Oliver and Blossom, who also goes by Thespio now, and yes, I'm gonna advertise his channel because subscribe to him.
Yeah, I can actually hear.
I remember that he. I remember that he did. Oh God, It was Mob Abridged, I'm pretty sure, and
Moba Bridge. Oh yeah.
Yes, he did.
Miss Auburn Blossom. Him.
Abridged had to be like the funniest thing I laughed at when I was a kid.
I remember watching it growing man in the early days. What about that time? Well, actually, you know what? I can actually see. You know the guy who did Toby and the Half Pariahs, and he did Toby's voice. I mean Percy's
Oh,
voice.
Tinus. I
Seth
don't know how
Tinus?
to pronounce his name.
Yeah.
Tyne Sinnoth? Him?
Yeah, the one who
Yeah,
does-
that one. I swear to God, I am waiting. So I'm just excited for Tobias and the Arcane Merchant.
Me too.
I'm excited
We
too.
all are. The thing is,
What kind of
listen,
thinking, James?
I can hear him voicing Percy more now because of him as a mature engine, and he's not like that little cheeky engine anymore.
Mhm.
Because if you think about it, Percy has gotten a lot older in age-wise.
Well, dudes,
Oh,
how
and
do you
then
feel
there
that
was
James is
there was
now
Sodor
fancy?
Dark
He's a
Times.
king.
Sodor Dark
Oh,
Times.
God.
I remember when
That's
that was.
horrible. That is horrible, man.
I am the ruler of this land, and will be the ruler of the world. And James just falls.
He just basically rolled off the face of the earth. Get it?
Oh my God.
He did. He did.
He rolled off the face of the earth, ladies and
He
gentlemen.
rolled off the face of the earth and flew right into the cosmos.
Or how about this one? Or how
It was
about
time
this?
for Thomas to leave. He had seen everything.
Or how about this? When James hits the ground, all I can hear is the effects when Mick Foley hit the table.
How long have I been up here with this idiot demon for?
And now I can hear.
3.5 minutes?
Now I can hear. As soon as James hit the floor, I can just hear Jim Ross saying, "Good God Almighty! Good God Almighty! They killed him! Those guys are winning!"
I actually heard that in my head too as soon as he hit the floor.
Sorry, I had to bring that James Ross comment, Lightning King.
It's all right.
No, don't
Made
worry
it more
about
fitting.
it. I'm fine with it.
Just be glad you don't take any story
I'm still
off
getting
the
the full colors of this logo done.
And
This
dudes, before I get off, because my
taken me
device is going to
nearly
hit a low percent
20
in any
minutes to
moment.
do. This logo
We
was
have
not easy. It's a pain in the ass.
Tommy Thomas.
Oh,
Look at this,
shit.
dudes.
Oh,
We got ourselves a Tommy Thomas with colored in smoke bunker detail, and
Not too bad.
yeah, just a standard Thomas.
Oh, dear
Nothing wrong.
God, the way this logo looks, I already hate it. I already don't like the way it looks, but
What's wrong
I've
with the-
made it
what
this
logo?
far. Why not take it?
What's wrong with the logo, Lightning King? What are you trying to do?
I was trying to do the New York Yankees baseball logo. That's what I was doing.
Dudes,
Oh.
how do you feel about this Tommy Thomas I own? I mean, he's smiling and everything. You know what I mean?
No,
Well,
that's
it's not real. He's
it's a
got no face
faceless
on it.
one. It's a faceless E2.
There's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with him.
All Thomas can see is a smokebox door in his face.
Oh God!
Yeah, I'm always playing with y'all. Like, the thing is, like, I just had to take off a scared Thomas face and, like, try and make him with a real smoke box. It's
Hang
like,
on, it's a joke. It'll be like, that's Thomas Coke. I can't see nothing but brick wall in my face.
Thomas with his faces on, he's like, "Ah, get this off my face, I can't read!"
That's what I mean. He's basically got the smokebox door masquerading him.
But if engines are only alive on Sodor, this took clear inspiration from like a Diesel D199's thing where Thomas goes beyond Sodor and loses his face outside of Sodor.
Oh,
Essentially, Thomas is in a state of a coma because he's got no face.
A coma.
oh God.
Anyway, dudes, I'm gonna get going and I'm gonna hot glue my Henry smokebox that I have, and I'm gonna print out his smokebox door. And if I can, I will try to do a realistic Edward one day when I get a new Edward.
Nice.
All right, dudes. See y'all and have a good day.
See you, man.
Indeed.
Hang on, where is this thing? I gotta find this.
So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we've had a great stream. It's good to see you again, Lightning King, and seeing you again, Roger. I mean, I know it's been so long, but I'm just glad you're doing well. You seem to have had a new fresh haircut as well.
Me?
Roger, it seems like you've had a new haircut.
Yeah.
I was just going to say there's something different about you. And by the way, Roger, I also recently turned 31 as well. Had a fantastic, had a good birthday, and the post celebrations were just incredible. Speaking of which, Lightning King as well. Oh, he's gone. I was just going to ask him about his icon. You know, looked pretty nice. Speaking of which, did you like the new shots of Hazel I've shown you, by the way, Roger?
Yeah.
Despite the fact I actually did see the films again. Despite the fact they're okay, they passed for what I'm saying, but looking back now, it was like, it was a good job I didn't voice when I did, but at the same time, it's funny because ever since I brought Hazel back in, and people have had intrigueness about how I'm going to use her. Not to mention, not everybody doesn't like her, but there are those who are willing to take her on as a good character. Either ways, it'll be intriguing to see what happens. Anyways, Roger, again, it's good to see that you're doing very, very well.
Yep.
We've got a lot of other things sorted and everything else, and of course, don't want to bring this up, but I've parted ways with Callum once and for all. After what he'd gone down with. And of course, you may not believe this as well, but first Rebecca also recovered. She woke up from her coma, and she's still alive. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
But either ways, this has been a very good streaming. We've been talking about Victor Tanzik's return, with season 4 final. Undertaker is now going to go into the Hall of Fame. Who knows? Maybe this year will be about him with others. Who knows? But at the same time, it's just been a wild, crazy, crazy time, and it's just been, 2022 said it was going to be an even better year, but not like this. But it's just, it's becoming unexpectedly good, man. So, anyways,
Yep.
guys, I'll catch up with you guys at another time. And Roger, if you don't want to, you know where to contact me in case you want to. And also, again, it's just good to see you. You're still there, and you look really nice with your new head cut. And we'll see what happens the next time we stream again. I'll catch you guys later, ladies and gentlemen. It's CaneFan701. Catch you all at another time. Stay safe, everybody.